Hello and welcome. I'm Marc Seal, and this is the Ultimate Guitar Show. We've got an awesome show for you today. In the All About Technique section, I'm going to teach you guys how to do hybrid picking. And then in Riff of the Week, I'm going to give you an example of hybrid picking in riff form. So I think you're going to dig that. And then we have an awesome guest in the show. Ray Jordan will be here playing a couple songs for you. So sit back and enjoy the Ultimate Guitar Show. It starts now. All about technique. Today I told you we're going to talk about hybrid picking. Well, what is hybrid picking, you ask? Well, actually I asked, but what it is it's holding your pick and using fingers on your right hand to pick the notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a really simple couple exercises that you can get comfortable with this, and then in Riff of the Week I'm going to show you a riff that applies this. Now there's a ton of different ways you can hybrid pick, but what we're going to do for today's examples, just to kind of touch the water with it, is we're going to use our pick and just fingers 2 and 3 on your right hand. And we're going to stay on the same 3 strings. Our pick is going to be responsible for string number 5, our bass note, and strings 2 and 3 are going to be responsible for strings 4 and 3. So you can see right here, they just kind of fall into those grooves. And you want to pluck lightly up towards you. And what happens is you're going to be using the pick, sometimes all 3 of them simultaneously, sometimes just the pick, sometimes just the right hand, second and third fingers. So what happens is we get this kind of So let's do this. Let's call up exercise number 1. Let me give you your first exercise to practice. And what we're going to do is we're going to use eighth notes. Now if you remember from previous shows, we count eighth notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's a steady tempo against a quarter note. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to play these same 3 strings, strings 5, 4, and 3. Pick using string 5, hitting string 5, 2nd and 3rd fingers hitting strings 4 and 3. Now if you look at slide 1, what you're going to see is that we hit the 5th string first open. Then what we're going to do is use fingers 2 and 3 and hit strings 4 and 3 right after that. And what we're going to do is do this in an 8th note pattern. So every time we hit the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's going to be the 5th string open with a downstroke. And then we're going to do the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the ands, doing strings 4 and 3 with fingers 2 and 3. Sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You just want to kind of get that rocking motion real comfortable back and forth. Again, it sounds like this and looks like this. And if you're feeling creative, go ahead and move your fingers around, just to kind of experiment. You can take that same chord shape, kind of move it around on the left hand. You know how I always tell you to kind of make up your own little riffs. It's a great idea with this. You can come up with any fingerings you want, but try to really get that pattern down and get comfortable. Now right at first, what you're going to notice is if you do this enough, if you practice it as much as you should, your fingers are going to get a little bit sore. That's all right. Just as long as you're not getting major blisters, then you're probably going to be all right, and it'll just be a little bit uncomfortable. But it should be a little sore. If you're doing it enough, you will get that irritation there. But that's going to be great because it's going to help build up calluses, which will help you in your finger picking down the road as well. If we call up exercise number 2, what I did here was I came up with a little bit different pattern, a little bit trickier pattern. And again, it's still 8th notes, but we're going to accent on different points. So actually what we're doing is we're doing the accent on 2 and 4 and on the accent of 3, so the and of 3. So we're going to hit 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what happens is we get these different kind of percussive sounds, a little bit more rhythmic, a little bit different than just playing a straight 8th note pattern. It sounds different. You're still playing 8th notes, but it just sounds a little bit different. One more time. Sounds like this. So what we're doing is we're hitting on beat 2, we're hitting on the and of 3 and the and of 4, and that's the whole pattern right there. Again, you can move that around. All right, if we call up exercise number 3, what I did here is I did kind of a basic drum pattern where we're going to accent on 2 and 4, which is the same place the snare would play. So this one sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 2 and 4 being where the snare would be on a drum if you were playing in normal time. This one up to tempo sounds like this. And a minute ago when I was telling you to maybe do your own thing with it, don't be afraid to do power chords. Different patterns with your right hand. You can stay on those same strings, and even then, once you get more comfortable, venture off into other strings. You might want to go up and do the second and third strings and do. You might throw on some distortion, go to your bridge pickup like we talked about, and do something. And just kind of play around with it. And I think as you spend a little time with it, what you're going to find is it's a really neat technique to be able to apply to different parts of your songs, spices up your rhythm playing a little bit, and just gives you something a little different. You could even be playing like a regular song with regular chords, right? Might be strumming and throw in some of the hybrid picking. So as you get more advanced, you'll find different ways to apply it. So again, experiment, and as always, really come up with your own stuff. But before you do that, make sure you get the basics down. Wire the exercises that I gave you here on the show. Riff of the week. Today we're going to apply what we learned in the All About Technique section with hybrid picking. Take a look at this riff. Sounds like this. There you have it. The riff that we're going to play is that riff right there. So I'm going to go right into it. Now, one thing I want to let you know up front is that what we did in the All About Technique section is going to hold true for this whole riff. Basically, your first finger, or I'm sorry, your pick is always going to be on string 5 open, right? We're doing that, and then sometimes we'll fret it out, but it's always string 5. Fingers 2 and 3 are always responsible for strings 4 and 3 respectively. So we're going to really kind of keep that same pattern going. The only thing that's going to change is that sometimes we're going to accent different notes at different times, and sometimes we're going to even hit all 3 strings simultaneously, which we've yet to do. So let's call up slide number 1, and let's look at the first section. We're going to start by hitting the 5th string open twice. We're going to make a chord, our first finger 5th fret 4th string, and our pinky on the 7th fret 3rd string. And this is kind of that power chord that we did on our previous show that I said is the most comfortable. 1st and 4th finger 2-string power chord. What we're going to do is we're going to start by hitting the 5th string open twice, and then with our right hand 2nd and 3rd fingers, we're going to do the hybrid picking on strings 4 and 3 and accent that chord. Sounds like this. Then we're going to hit the 5th string open again, and then we're going to make a new chord. And this new chord, I use fingers 1 and 3. You're welcome to use fingers 1 and 2. 1 and 3 again is just more comfortable, gives your wrist the opportunity to be a little bit more flat and a little less pressure on it. So first finger, 4th fret, 4th string, along with our 3rd finger, or 2nd, your choice, 5th fret, 3rd string, and we're going to hit those notes twice with fingers 2 and 3 on strings 4 and 3. Sounds like this. If you want to throw in a little bit of vibrato, sounds kind of cool. It's got that bluesier vibe. Now we're going to apply a hammer on to this as well. We're going to start by hitting the 5th string open, hammering on to the 3rd fret of the 5th string, hitting that again with the pick, and then fingers 3 and 4 on our left hand are going to be on frets 5 on strings 4 and 3. A lot of numbers there. Look at the tablature. It's a whole lot easier. So really what we're end up doing is hammering on to one of the power chords that we did on the previous show. Section 3, we're going to move up to the 5th position, move our first finger over to the 5th fret, and we're going to do 0, hammer to 5, hit 5 again, one more time, and then we're going to have that same power chord shape, in this case a D5. We're going to hit the 4th and 3rd strings, we're going to hit them on the 7th fret, and we're going to slide up to 8 and back down to 7. Sounds like this. So section 3, slide 1. Now what I actually do when I play this is I'll hold the chord down. Once I put the hammer on down, I'll just leave all the fingers down. And you can even slide your first finger up and it doesn't matter. You'll hear it, but not that much. It sounds like this. So slide 1 in its entirety slow sounds like this. Let's do that one more time, getting a focus on this hand here, watching the hybrid picking as I'm hitting those chords. All right, let's go ahead and call up slide 2. So now slide 2, section 1, the intro is exactly the same as what we played on slide 1. So it's that same 5 to 7 to 4 to 5, sounds like this. Section 2 is the same as well. And then where it changes is on section 3. We're going to do 0 hammer to 5. And then we're going to immediately come down to a B5 power chord, which is 2nd fret, so first finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, to 4 and 4, and then right up to 3 and 5, which is a C5 power chord, up to 5 and 7, which is a D5, so it sounds like this. One more time. So slide 2 in its entirety slow, sounds like this. Now notice on that last one what we did that's kind of cool is we hit all 3 notes simultaneously. We hit 2, 4, and 4 on that B5 power chord. We had our pick hit as well as our 2nd finger and our 3rd finger on the right hand over here. Everything simultaneously. The fingers 2 and 3 are kind of pulling up while the pick's pushing down. Sounds like that. So you want your fingers to go behind the pick, if you will, when you hit all the strings simultaneously in hybrid picking. So let's do this. Let's play slides 1 and 2 all together, the whole thing slow, and then I'll do it regular speed, and then it'll be up to you guys to practice it. Sounds like this. And a little more up tempo. And there you have it, riff of the week. Here at the Ultimate Guitar Show, we're committed to bringing you only the most excellent entertainers, and this week is no exception. I had the opportunity to play a sold-out show with Ray Jordan last weekend, and we're just so stoked to have him here. He's going to play some really cool stuff for you on the guitar. So Ray Jordan, how are you, man?
Good, how are you, Marc?
Doing great, good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man.
How was that show last week for you?
Oh man, it was amazing. Thank you so much for, that opportunity. Just, rocked it out. I had so much fun doing those 2 songs and playing with you especially.
Well, I had a good time as well. Your beginnings, how did you start? How old were you when you started playing guitar?
I was 17 years old. I started junior year of high school, and it all started out through choir class. I joined the choir class in high school. I saw all these students playing guitar, so I got, intrigued by it, and it was, now it's the love of my life, and it's all I want to do.
Perfect.
For the rest of my life. So.
And well, cool. That's awesome. As far as your influences, who really mentored you as far as what did you learn and who did you like when you were first playing? What got that fire burning?
Well, when I first started out, I was sort of looking into the Jack Johnson, John Mayer feel, and then all of a sudden Jason Mraz popped up, and he inspired me so much. Big inspiration. Just through his whole world of music, his whole genre, sort of related to me. I felt close to him, his music. So I got into it, and I started doing that, pop, jazz, Latin type of feel, and, putting some Ray Jordan in there too.
Yeah, perfect. So. Well, I noticed your lyrics are extremely they're clever. They're really creative. Stuff like mediocre poker or capo song. So I think you're going to do capo song for us today.
Yes.
Explain to the viewers what a capo is and how the song came about.
Well, a capo is this is actually a capo right here. It's a clamp that clamps onto the neck of the guitar. It goes right on there, and it sort of brings it up to a different key through all the strings. So you can go half steps. It's all half steps.
What made you think to write a song about a capo, though?
Well, no one has done it, so I felt like I needed to write a metaphorical song about a girl and describe her as a capo. So, the chorus would go, "You're my capo, I bring you up a half step," right. Or "You bring me up a half step," and
right.
So
totally
forth.
Clever. It's perfect. So we're gonna do that song for everyone. Now we got to do it for sure. But that's a great story. And most of your lyrics, I think, what I've found on the songs I've heard you play is that you find ordinary, everyday things. I mean, you just look around and you write these songs and you come up with clever metaphors, like you said. And is that kind of always been your style, or did you have to look for a style, or how did that come to you?
Well, yeah, it just came out of nowhere. Things pop up in my head most of the time, and I'll see something or I'll hear something. I'll watch a show, like a TV show, and someone will say something, and I'll be like, wow, I should, it just comes naturally through. What I hear, my senses, it's all my senses,
This is Ray Jordan.
You've been laying your heart on my world. You've been playing, painting on my guitar. Dreams have meant to shine as we lift our hearts. Well, lately I've been seeing things so naturally, with your moments of melody. I see more than you have ever seen things before, 'cause you are my keeper. Will you lift me up a half step up from where I used to be? Oh, can't you see that you're my silver ring? I tell you right now, I'm not worrying anything, 'cause you are my keeper. Will you bring me up a half step up from where I used to be. Oh, can't you see that you're my silver thing? Oh, with a 1, 2, 3 steps, clipping the neck on my guitar. Let's say, well, that's a start. I say I cry. Oh, will I ought to think the very least of you. Oh, I will never once I doubted your smile and your style. Depend on me and I depend on you. We'll time out our lives. Let's say that love with a moment's synchronization of heart and mind combined. Time's out to realize we look inside. Oh, with 1, 2, 3, 21 frets of instant love and melody. 'Cause you are my keeper. Oh, when you lift me up a half step up from where I used to be. Oh, can't you see that you're my silver ring? I tell you right now, I'm not wearing anything. 'Cause you are my keeper. Oh, when you bring me up a half step up from where I used to be. Oh, can't you see that you're my silver ring? Oh, when a 1, 2, 3 steps, clipping the neck on my guitar. Let's say, well, that's a start. Oh, well, that's my heart you're playing on. Oh, well, that's my heart. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, well, that's my heart.
Thanks so much for tuning into the Ultimate Guitar Show. Be sure and tell all your friends about us here so they can check out the show as well. And go home and practice all this stuff, all the hybrid picking that we talked about in the All About Technique section. Go to the website, markseal.com/forum, and check out the slides so you can learn this stuff. As well, check out Ray Jordan's MySpace page at myspace.com/2 Ray Jordan. And thanks to Musicians Institute for making these shows possible. And thank you guys for watching the show. We'll catch you back here next time on the Ultimate Guitar Show.
This program has been made available by the generous support of Musicians Institute, the world's most innovative school of contemporary music.
Well, you're not just a mediocre poker, pick me up on a reeling to joke your player. Well, you got the devil in your eyes, I begin to analyze your hold on flavor. Well, you're not just a mediocre poker, pick me up on a reeling to joke your player. Well, you got the devil in your eyes, I begin to analyze your hold on flavor. Well, stop, don't suck, a window flop comes out, you begin to shout and say, stop, don't suck, a window flop comes out, you begin to shout and say, watch out for the turncoat.